Hello everyone, my name is Boiling Heart, and today I wanted to discuss something that's been worrying me for the past few days in regards to the future updates for Overwatch. Now, perhaps my timing for this video is inappropriate considering we just got the Uprising event and Heroes of the Storm is now holding Overwatch events again, but I get the feeling that we might head to a lull when it comes to content releases. Overwatch is about to reach its first year anniversary, and so far the events we've had take up reasonable parts of the year. January to February will hold the Chinese New Year events, April will hold Uprising Declassified, August our Summer Games, October is Junkenstein's Revenge, and finally, December ending with Winter Wonderland. There's a chance we might see something drop for Overwatch's anniversary, but we have yet to see. So what's my issue exactly? Well, now we know almost exactly what to expect from Overwatch for future years to come, and because of that, it's very possible that those events will no longer have the same fresh vibe to them. They will most likely be exactly the same, with the differences being maybe a few new skins or poses and such. Just look at Blizzard's World of Warcraft. They've been running the same events for almost a decade, and there's hardly been a difference in content. By establishing these seasonal events, I worry that Overwatch might have just put a limitation on itself on what to release and when. While these holiday events are absolutely enjoyable, it does eventually get distasteful to be stuck with those holiday-themed skins and poses. It's like if you were to keep your Christmas lights up for a whole year. In a game that is centered in a fascinating universe with a diverse cast and unique stories and themes of heroism and hope, it's kind of disappointing to see that all we ever really get to see from those characters are Halloween costumes and goofy one-liners that hardly even build character. At least that's what we've mainly seen so far. Now I know what you're probably thinking. This is one of the reasons why Uprising became a thing, and it's great! And I'm immensely grateful to see more story content for the game and finally represented in the game. I mean, come on, it took them almost a year to finally put up a short bio for the character on the hero gallery. If you don't dig for story on Overwatch Online and just play the game exclusively, you would probably never know anything about the backstories to any of these characters. At least in games like Black Ops, for example, they had their character bios easily accessible with full detail and even unlockable voice recordings of these characters and their anecdotes. That would be a fun idea to borrow, Blizzard, just so you know. I digress. Uprising is definitely a great step forward in what Overwatch needs, but I feel like it's going about it in, dare I say, the wrong way. This is just my opinion, but I think it's a terrible idea to have this event act as a seasonal event. I feel like Uprising should be special and should be exclusive to just this year. And since this is a lore event and not a holiday, and technically all these unlockables are declassified material, I feel that they should be unlockable even after the event ends. To keep skins like Blackwatch McCree and Talon Widowmaker and such locked to April is ridiculous. It's a different story when you want to unlock Santa Torbjorn out of season, but these new skins are relevant to the character stories, and therefore should not be exclusive. And by having Uprising be a seasonal event, Overwatch has prevented itself from advancing forward. Next year, the same event will unlock, and honestly, I can't even say there will be new skins to come out for next year. My reasoning is because not the entire Overwatch cast is Overwatch affiliated. Characters like Lucio, Symmetra, Zarya, Hanzo, Pharah, Junkrat, Roadhog, Zenyatta, D.Va, and Sombra will be neglected next year again, unless given emotes or intros. Another restriction Overwatch put on itself with this event is being able to progress lore in-game. Uprising takes place 7 years in the past. We know what happened now. If new players were to join later this year and were interested in the lore, they'd find out about Uprising. There's an art cinematic and comic about it and plenty of gameplay videos now. The case is closed. We don't need to bring it back again. What Overwatch needs to focus on is creating a different lore event, one that progresses story in another area of the lore. Examples could be Lucio overthrowing Vishkar, D.Va fighting hordes of Omnics, the destruction of Australia or the dangerous lives of the Junkers, the riots against Lumerico, the Anubis AI awakening, the crisis in Russia, you know, all that other juicy lore that doesn't get nearly as much attention as Tracer's legendary skins. Even better, we should get lore events that don't take place in the past, but rather build up on the current lore and help progress the story as it is now. Unless more events are crammed in between the ones established right now, we aren't going to get to see anything else progress. Bear in mind that this is an assumption of mine based off my own observations, and I could very well be wrong. That being said, we can only expect the new major skins, emotes, and victory poses will come up during seasonal events. Exceptions could arise similar to how Reinhardt's skin popped out of nowhere along with Eichenwald, but since Blizzard isn't necessarily clear on when we can expect big patches, new maps, or any of that, it's kind of hard to judge. Another exception is promotional events like what Heroes of the Storm is doing, but I really don't want to count that since in order to get those skins, you need to go out of the game to do so. Not everyone can access a computer strong enough to run Heroes of the Storm, not to mention the gameplay isn't exactly favorable to everyone, and hell, good luck finding a friend to tag along with you on those. It's almost like these skins are catered to PC players. How are console players supposed to— Oh, wait, never mind, we got an answer. Why bother with the Nexus challenge in that case? The last thing I want to mention are maps and game modes. 1v1s, 3v3s, capture the flag, and now custom matches have definitely spiced up the game. But there is going to be a point in time where this will no longer be enough. Overwatch has confirmed that there are 3 maps in the making right now, but again, no estimated time frame on their release dates, nor even a hint as to where they might take place. I feel like the best way to keep the game alive in this area is not just have new maps, but new game modes. Sometimes it gets annoying to play the same modes again and again, so I have a few suggestions in mind. The first one, Team Deathmatch. It's a wide expanse with little to no buildings, and the goal is to get as many kills as possible. The catch is you can only play as offensive or defensive heroes. A map for this mode could be Junkertown, Australia, where you fight in the ruins. The second one is Ground War. What if we went beyond the 6 hero limit per team? This game mode entails a 10v10 or 12v12 setup and could work similar to a Rothi Basin in World of Warcraft or Domination in Call of Duty. Basically, the goal is to hold control over 2 or 3 objectives for as long as possible, and whoever dominates the map wins. This could take place on Russian or Korean battlefronts against the Omnics or in Vishkar-controlled cities. I know, Blizzard said they don't want to go past the 6v6 teams, but you know what they also said? That they didn't want to have a stealth hero, or add a capture the flag mode, or a vehicle with wheels, so this idea isn't too far-fetched. And the third one, mini lore PvE modes. Since Overwatch won't have a campaign, we could instead have hero-specific modes that can be done solo or in small groups of 2 to 4. These would take place on small maps set in a scene in the past, depending on the backstory you choose. For example, a mini lore mode for McCree could be a reskinned Route 66, where you play as young Deadlock McCree and attempt to steal cargo from one end of the map and deliver it to your base without dying. Another example is if you play Lucio. Your goal is to navigate through the Via in Brazil and break into Vishkar's base to help begin the rebellion. These could be quick game modes that can unlock hero-specific sprays and victory poses with the higher scores you get. I definitely don't speak for the masses, but this is just something I wanted to talk about. For all I know, I could be absolutely wrong. Only the future may tell. I can still appreciate all the massive work being put into this game, and this video is in no way trying to discredit that. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the future of content updates. Do you agree with me or disagree? Is there anything you'd like to see brought to life to Overwatch? Let me know in the comments. And special thanks to WoW Elite for supporting me on Patreon, I really appreciate it. If you guys want to help support me and this channel, you can check out my Patreon, my Ko-fi link, or commission me for digital art. Links are in the description. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.